Call the meeting to order, 5 o'clock. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Dave Smith.
Here.
Here. Dale.
Here.
Here. Judy.
Here.
Bob Roth here. And Supervisor, Mr. File.
Here.
I think that's all. We also have Mr. Carlisle here.
You got Sashabaw? See.
Approval of the minutes. We need a motion to approve the minutes from November 2nd.
I can actually remember that. Was
Yeah.
I got everything but that. Thank you. Oh. Support.
All right. So Dale, you moved it? Or do you?
Well, I'll move it.
You move it?
Yep.
We need support?
Support.
Support, Judy. Anybody have any questions or concerns about the minutes? I looked them over, everything looked to be okay. I move to approve the minutes. We can have a second.
I'll second it.
All right, Dale seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Minutes approved. Presentations, Mr. Carlisle?
Well, first of all, hello, board members. Once a year, we get together. Good to see you all. As you know, the Walden Center Drive light is in, and there's only one additional thing that needs to be done, and that's the signage. There's some certain signage that needs to be installed, but the project is essentially complete. So congratulations. Your last project for which you were responsible is, as you have with every other project, it's been successfully completed. So the board should congratulate yourselves for the job that you've done this many years. That's the good part. The unfortunate part is we have to at least continue to meet at least once a year until the bonds are paid off. From the annual report that I provided to you, and again, I want to say that normally in the past we do the annual report in May, but since we only meet once a year, I've just been putting off the previous year's annual report till when we meet. So that's why it's a 2023 report. But financially, the CIA is on solid ground. There's not going to be any issues repaying the bonds, obviously. I haven't, spoken specifically with Mr. Yeager about this, but we've been on track to, to pay off the bonds early. So that at that point in time is when the CIA board will, be able to be released from your service from that standpoint. I think the original date was 2029. I will find from Mr. Yeager a specific date of where we are on that now. But revenue-wise, you're doing very well. We have $443,000 in 2023. 2024 anticipated to be $561 in revenues. There's some other additional revenues that come from that. You would see in 23 a transfer from the general fund of $250,000. That was for the light project, okay? That was an advance from the general fund. So that is part of the monies that will also be repaid. But so yeah, built into this, into the future budget of the CIA is a reimbursement to the township for the proceeds from the bonds and any other cash advances that have been made, such as this. And so we are on target to meet all those obligations. And that's pretty much it. One other quick thing, this is part of the reason that we have this meeting, and we need to do it, is because state law requires that we have an informational meeting. We don't have any other taxing jurisdictions here, nor have we, but we still need to hold this informational meeting as long as you are in business, basically, and you're going to continue to be in business until all the bonds have been paid off.
So is there going to be any funds left over?
There could be, yes. And what happens then is that once you've completed all of your assigned responsibilities, and this light does complete that, then you are required to proportionally return any excess funds back to the other taxing jurisdictions.
When will we know that?
As soon as the bonds are paid off, we will
Bonds are paid
know. We will still have our tax increment finance plan, I believe, runs through 2029. It was all set up concurrently. So we will know as soon as the bonds are paid off and your mission is complete, then the township board and the supervisor will be asked to make a decision about, sunsetting the CIA and returning any excess funds. And then at that point in time, once you do that, the tax capture, the following year ends. So you usually do that on a calendar year basis. So the following year, you just would not capture any more funds. And anything that was left as a fund balance, you proportionally have to return that to the other taxing jurisdictions. So that's
And there's no way to amend anything to add additional projects? Let's say we made an oversight or there anything like that?
There is.
Okay.
And in fact, we did go through one plan amendment in 2017. We didn't technically have to amend it to do the light because we made a case to the county that it should have been done and is planned to be done when Walden Road improvements were done, but the County Road Commission would not allow us to do it. So they administratively allowed us to move forward with that. Yes, you can. You could add projects if you felt you had the revenues. You could amend it to extend the term of the CIA. So yes, that's very possible. Now, it still has to go through the approval process. As if it's a new plan, you have to get the taxing jurisdictions to agree. You have to get the county primarily to agree. But if you have worthwhile projects, they might well be amenable to doing it.
But there's nothing in the future in sight at this point?
No.
Anywhere? Nothing?
Not as far as anything that you have in your current plan.
Yeah,
Right.
well, right. But something could be added is what you just said.
Correct. That's right.
And at this point, we don't understand or know how much money is going to be left over, correct?
No, but we can probably get a pretty, working with Rick Yeager, I can probably get a pretty reasonable, estimate of that. We know, we have projections, pro forma essentially, of what the tax increment revenue collections are going to be, for the next number of years. And those have been pretty, those have turned out to be pretty accurate. We chose a pretty conservative approach, so they've turned out to be pretty accurate. We can sit down with Kim and Rick and sort of forecast that out. And he may have done that, as a matter of fact. I don't know.
Can you do that and then email us something?
Sure.
To show that, because we won't have another meeting until when.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
So Dick, is the, I don't know, the yard, how we were gonna put stuff in the yard out front, is that still happening?
I'd have to ask Brian about
What's that? I'm
the
sorry.
park.
The park, guys.
Well, we've created a design, came up with a preliminary cost estimate, most of which will be covered by private donation.
Oh,
So, we haven't gone any further than that. The board kind of didn't necessarily bless it, but they just said, this is great, keep moving. So, you know, there's still some work to be done to refine it, but I think, you know, and I'll have to show that to the supervisor, because he's never seen that, I don't think, so, what we've come up with.
yeah, I was just wondering if any of the leftover money could be used for anything there that we might need.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna tap into, I know Safety Path is committed to taking care of the pathways in the park, because it connects to our Safety Path system. And there's been some private, you know, pledges, so to speak, on other aspects of the park, or what we would call just a gathering space.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a program park.
Mm-hmm. But the answer to that is yes. I mean, if indeed timing-wise there was excess funds and the board, you know, decided to do that, the board, you know, could make this, the township board would need to make that decision, because the money, the excess money would be returned to the township board as well as to the county and the other taxing jurisdictions that are part of the plan. That is, unless the board decides they want to pursue an extension of the plan.
That would be the township board.
That's correct. Yeah. Obviously, the CIA board would have to be actively involved in that, because you'd have to be part of amending the
Right.
plan and approving that and recommending that to the board.
Right.
But the money would be there to do that.
I'm sorry.
Would the money be there to do that then?
Possibly, yes, yes.
So how long do you think it'll take to get those numbers?
I'll get a hold of Mr. Yeager tomorrow and see, we'll get a plan together. I'm thinking probably after Thanksgiving, though, realistically.
Only makes sense to do that, I would think.
I don't know why we would give money back to the county.
Exactly. You just said it, I wasn't gonna.
Should I not have?
No. Yeah, no, exactly. So,
We'll
Come up with
we
the
are
work.
capturing quite a bit from them for the DDA, though, too.
Yeah.
So we're doing pretty well there. But, yeah, I understand. And, you know, I mean, the county's worked well with us, with the CIA over the years, you know, and if there are some worthwhile projects that, you know, that we can foresee needing to be done, there's a whole process that we have to start, and you really need to start it about a year in advance of when you want it to be extended, because it's gonna take that long with the county. They have a lengthy process.
And you would have to do that to amend it for anything.
Correct.
Right.
Right. Unless, you know, there's a project that is within the descriptions that we could rightfully justify, you know, that's still a possibility, but your revenue still only extends through 2029, and the idea would be probably is to actually amend it to provide for a time extension too. Okay,
Okay.
any other questions?
I don't have any other questions. Anybody else have any questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we just wanna talk about that we'll plan on meeting probably next November.
Well, that's up to the board. I mean, if there is a movement afoot here to talk about plan extension, we will probably want to meet and start talking about that sooner, you know, than November of next year.
Right, right. Well, maybe after you give us some projections,
Yeah,
Mr. Fowler can take a look at the war chest, and if he wants to come up with a project or something maybe that we could do, or
Okay.
wanted to extend it, then we could have a meeting to discuss it, I guess.
right,
Sounds good. I agree.
okay.
Right.
Otherwise, see you next November.
So, next November. Okay. Well, you just went over all your stuff here, right? The financial matters and the annual report, and so we're scheduling a meeting for next November.
Correct.
Is that for right now?
Don't you give a summary to the board, though, or not?
I'm sorry.
Don't you give a summary of this year to
Yes,
the board?
we have to
Yeah.
do this routine, again, with the township board.
Yeah.
We have, you have to have actually 2 informational meetings a year with, and invite the, and notice it for the taxing jurisdictions to attend. So what we have done is we've done one before the actual bodies, and then the second before the township board, because it gives us an opportunity to also inform the board what is occurring with the DDA and the CIA. So that'll be in December
December
sometime?
17th.
December 17th, yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, does anybody have any other concerns or anything? Not hearing any, how about a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. End the meeting. Happy Thanksgiving.
That's good.